good afternoon. Hope you're all doing all right today. So this session is a bit of a easygoing meditation and restorative practice. So welcome, wherever you are joining in from. So we'll get going here in just a couple moments, but wanted to jump on a little bit early and just say hi, see how you guys are doing, connect a little bit before we ease into this juicy, restorative, and meditative, very simple practice. You don't even need a yoga mat for this. You can have your floor, wherever your floor is perfect. Blankets and pillows are awesome. And if you'd like to grab little flashcards for Daisy there. If you'd like to grab a notebook or whatever you have around to write with, that's great too. But if not, totally fine. So if you're here, that's perfect. That's all you need. If you can breathe, you can connect to yourself, and you can practice. So hello, hey Heather, if you don't mind just saying where you are right now and how you're feeling, maybe that'll be a little bit useful. We can kind of get to know each other a bit. Who's back from the 8 a.m. morning class? So there's so much cool stuff happening, you guys, on Instagram. I just watched a really nice live with Emran, the founder of BOF. He's doing tons of cool interviews and just talking about the future of fashion and the future of sustainability and things like that. So hopefully you guys are enjoying all of the offerings here on Instagram and just sort of your own ideas percolating of all of the productive ways you can be spending your time right now, really enriching yourself, reconnecting. So in the spirit of that, good evening in Switzerland, Orange Ocean. That sounds amazing. Love from Santa Cruz, California. A little bit earlier there. Hello from El Salvador. Feeling a little anxious right now. Totally get that. Vancouver Island, amazing. Mexico, oh my gosh. So we're all in this together. I think, that's obvious, but especially having these moments together when we connect around the world can really remind us that obviously we all are connected. So this moment I'd like to share with you all today is part of an in-person retreat that we've been doing for about a year, I guess, called Rest and Renew. And it's awesome. it's really descriptive. We try to be really clear with the feeling that we're going for as the title of things. So we label our classes gentle, relax, energize, strong, things like that. So Rest and Renew was a retreat that I've been kind of dreaming on for myself and for a lot of people that have been coming to mind to take things down a little bit of a notch from the busy and the stress and the crazy and reconnecting, giving ourselves some time with ourselves and in nature to be with ourselves. So this is also an online retreat we have on our site. You can check that out in the link in the bio. Takes you through a nice 7-day process with that. But I wanted to take that out a little bit and share with us together. So we'll do a brief meditation, and again, you can have your notebook if you like. If not, totally fine too. Just a really cool technique, I guess. Gotta come up with a better technique. Sounds so kind of cheesy. A way, I guess, or a thing you could do. It sounds so flippant, but help me come up with a better word than technique, because that sounds like a sort of a $1.99 trick. Tips and tricks and techniques. Anyone from Germany? I hope so. I'm sure there's other people from Germany. So many of my friends are in Germany, so maybe some of them are here as well. So thanks for being here. So we'll start with an easy meditation, and then we will wind down into some gentle, juicy, rest and renew inspired, soft movements that you can do with anyone. So I'll also save this video. Hopefully it'll save. This morning's practice didn't save, but I think I figured out why, because Instagram is very particular. I accidentally clicked the flip around camera button at the end, and it showed the kind of outdoor blue sky, which was really cool for everybody that was here in live. It was an accident, but ended up being kind of nice. But then I think the technology got confused and didn't save it. So I asked it to save and it didn't, boo-hoo, but that's okay. We'll survive. Anyway, in the spirit of sharing after that, I thought I would go live on Facebook just to give it a try, to maybe a lot of people have been writing to everybody, not just me, but a lot of people aren't on Instagram and just Facebook, including my parents. They're like, "How do we use Instagram? We want to do your yoga." So I thought, okay, I'll try to figure out this Facebook Live as well. But instead of going live on my page or the Strala page, I accidentally went live to like my 3 high school friends who were so nice and commenting and interacting that I thought it was my real page with a few more people on it. So at the end, I was so embarrassed to come up to the screen and see, oh my gosh, those are my friends from high school. And they probably feel like I'm forcing my yoga on them. So hopefully they didn't feel like that. I'm gonna write to them all individually today just to say hi and check in. Technique equals style, I like that. Hannah Benny Bunny is amazing. So thinking about the technique and sort of the recipe or the ingredient that we do things. So maybe technique doesn't have to feel so tricky or so, I don't know, distant from something that comes from within. So I think what's so cool about all of the ancient practices, all of the ideas, the philosophy and the practices of East Asian thought, whether it's Tai Chi or calligraphy or Qigong or yoga or Ayurveda, they're universal. So I know there's got to be somebody in your family that is a living example, or somebody that you've met that is a living example of yoga or Tai Chi or Ayurveda, but they've never been into a studio or they've never formally practiced this. So does anybody have a relative that just kind of lives very with nature, aligned with nature, knows how to connect with themselves, knows when to slow down, knows how to move their body in a way that is harmonious without rigid intention, full of grace and ease. So I love that these ideas, these practices, more formulaic, have come from East Asia, but I also love that they exist already inside all of us. And when we can uncover, it's this feeling of remembering them instead of necessarily learning. So we're unlearning our bad habits. I think we get stuck in this idea of doing what feels good to us, and even when it might not be something that helps us move along in life or helps us improve or helps us really connect with ourselves. It might just be our bad habit that we continue to do and do and do over and over because it feels normal to us or natural. But all of these wisdoms show us a path where we can keep guiding ourselves back to the practices and to the principles, to the formula, to the technique, and find ourself within that. So for my experience, just simply leading yoga, leading workshops and trainings, all that stuff, it's really cool when you're learning stuff and you feel like, oh, I'm learning this thing, I'm learning how to lead this thing to other people, or I'm learning how to do these movements, I'm learning how to actually do a handstand without forcing myself. But then there's this moment of, well, you have to forget about the technique a little bit after you learn it and then simply let it come from the inside. So of course there's a balance between having the form and then letting that go to simply allow the thing to feel like you. So there's no separation between the practice that you're learning and you. Otherwise it's just a disconnect, right? Or it's just an intellectual study that you're just reading in a book or just hearing from a lecture, and it doesn't come from the inside. So we all experience this, I think, when we hear somebody say something, whether it's a friend or a teacher or a lecturer or whatever it is, and we are taken by what they say and we feel, oh wow, I noticed that in myself, I connect with that feeling. So going after that connection, I think, is super important when we're doing all of these practices also. So hopefully that can sort of pour out into our lives a little bit. And I notice for myself, and again, people that I've had the pleasure of leading and being in workshops with and things like this, the more we feel connected to ourselves, the more kind of real confidence happens. Confidence without arrogance. We stop acting in a way that's disconnected from ourselves. We are more comfortable communicating with lots of different kinds of people about our vision, and we're not putting out there a sort of idea of who we want other people to think that we are. We're so aligned with ourselves that we can simply share And there's no fear of trying to impress somebody or trying to persuade somebody. We're simply sharing the thing that we're so excited about doing. And in that spirit or in that process or technique, the thing that we're sharing is much more well received than if we're even technically correct about something, but we're presenting it in a way where we're trying to convince somebody and we're almost arguing in this way. So I love that the practice of yoga in this easygoing East Asian way because of that, because people come in the room from all around the world, and we're just coming in here from all around the world, even digitally. It can be the same thing. You know, it's great to be able to touch each other and all of that, but the same things are happening here, honestly, over the last few weeks that happen in a training program. And from communicating with you guys, it's been so cool to see your aha moments and, you know, your moments when you feel great and feel connected. So one woman wrote to me today and said, you know, something's happening. And I love playing this song. I can't play it here because I don't know what the Instagram rules are with music, but Buffalo Springfield, something's happening here, right? That's such a great song. So I love playing that because it's so true. When you start to connect with yourself, something's happening here from inside of you. And this woman wrote to me and she said, all right, I've been doing the yoga with you every day. I don't remember if it was live or on the replay, the rerun. I love that about we have this technology here to do the rerun for 24 hours. But she said she had a 4-month-old son and he kind of got with the program. He said there's something about her moving with ease, moving in harmony with herself and the routine of what we're doing together. You know, she said it was the sound of my voice, but I don't believe that. I think it's the energy that she was having with herself and her son picking that up. So I don't think there's anything magical or mystical about me or how I'm delivering this. I'm doing my best to improve myself at everything that I do for myself and how I can communicate with you. Otherwise it gets worse and then it's no good at all someday. But I know from seeing these kind of experiences so often that for sure it's not the sound of my voice. For sure it's her and how she was moving in her body and how that helped her son relax. And he actually takes a nap, and it wasn't his usual nap time during the time when she does yoga, but it helped him to wind down. And that's been really, really cool. So yeah, just stories like that usually happen over some days of doing this together, and that's really cool. Another woman messaged me. It was another story about kids. There's other stories about kids too. I should share those, but one more that was really cool. And she has a couple kids. I think it was age 4 and 6, and they were playing by themselves. So she thought, okay, she could turn on one of the practices I had here and just kind of do it. So she said they're usually good playing by themselves for, you know, a certain period of time until that's not realistic anymore. And then you as parents interact and, you know, whatever. So she said she put it on and she started breathing and moving, and all of a sudden she couldn't hear her kids laughing or playing or screaming or anything. And she was worried, what's going on? Have they fallen down? She opened up her eyes and they were standing next to her, just staring at her, taking in the beautiful presence that she had given herself the chance to become. So I just think that's so cool, and it manifests in unique ways in all of us. So when you do this practice of moving with ease, moving in harmony with yourself, improving within that process, it has this way of giving you exactly what you need for nourishment at that moment. So if you are a parent with kids at home, all those cool moments can happen. If you're not feeling great, you can start to feel better. It's not as crass to say that this heals that and this heals that, but has a way of giving you what you need. Not me giving you what you need, but you, through the practice of moving with ease, moving in harmony with yourself, magic happens, or of course obvious happens, or maybe we can find a better word for that too, but things start to line up as they should be, and in a positive way as well. So hopefully that's useful as we move into this practice together. So all right, let's get started. So again, I'll guide you through just a simple meditation here. You can do this with a journal, without a journal, doesn't matter. I'll lead you through why it might be useful to have something to write something down in a moment. But there we go. All right, and we'll go right into the flow, and we can have a chat at the end if you like as well. And hopefully this will save, and I'll keep it up on the stories and hopefully the IGTV as well. All right. So find a easy place to be here. Yourself soften a bit. Maybe a gentle roll around here, side to side, or easy forward and back. Eventually, winding your way toward a more still place. Staying soft enough so your breath can move you. Big inhale. Long exhale. And simply hang here for just a little while. Easy with your breath. Notice your attention starting to drift or wander anywhere. Just see if when you do notice, you can re-guide your attention right back in, right back on your breath. Big inhale. Long exhale. We'll hang here for a little while longer. The next time your attention starts to drift and wander off, if you'd like to follow that train of thought and just allow yourself to be with that thought for a little while and see where it leads, go down the rabbit hole a bit, feel free. If you'd like to feel natural to grab a hold of your pad, your notebook there, just write down whatever comes up, write down whatever's on your mind, kind of let it pour out of you. And once it's poured out of you, give yourself a moment to let that go and come back to your breath. We'll stay with that here for a little while. And again, if you're back to your breath and you feel pulled out of yourself by some train of thought, feel free to just write it down. Let yourself go and let it be on the page for a little while. And once you've gotten it out of yourself, let yourself come back to your breath. We'll stay with this here for just a bit. No rush. Let yourself write down or think about whatever's pulling your attention away. Give that thing, that thought, some attention. Once you've given it some attention or got it down on the page, let it be there. It'll be there when you come back. And come on back. A few more breaths here. Yourself soften up a bit here, let that go. Maybe a little roll around side to side or easy forward and back, coming back toward a nice, new, fresh place. Take a big inhale. Long exhale. Let yourself crawl up onto all fours here on your hands and knees, just sliding around on your ground there a bit. Let yourself either hang out on all fours, rolling around a little side to side, and your hips and back are rolling around a bit here. If you feel like heading on the move a bit more, letting yourself kind of cruise around your space, just from your center, let your hands and knees just go along for the ride. Just let yourself kind of cruise around. And if you've got your blankets and pillows, just start to bring them toward your space wherever you are. Really letting yourself stay in your practice here. Rolling around, easy. Finding little ways to make everything you do be your practice, not like you'd look like some lunatic practicing yoga and emoting yourself, but just letting yourself simply move harmoniously, and all you do doesn't need to be overly emo. Let yourself just be someone who's in the process of taking really good care of themselves all the time, whether you're doing your practice or rolling around or making a cup of coffee or working or whatever it is you do. Eventually come down to sit here on your hips and slide your legs around in front of you. And if you'd like to grab a big pillow, go for that, or nothing's fine too. It's all nice. Put a little bend in your knees. Crawl back and open. And easy, all the way up and over this pillow. Nice gentle forward bend. Few breaths to easy roll around here. Just let your head go, let your neck go. Yourself simply be in that process of taking really good care of you. Real big deep inhales and even a little longer with your exhales. And feel free to stay there a little while longer if you like. If you've got a blanket handy nearby, you can roll on up. And again, no rush to get to your next position because this is part of your practice as well. Just gently rolling up a blanket and kind of a nice roll here, nice and long. This is going to go along your spine, so you've got your blanket here. But again, no extra tension as you roll through. Kind of line yourself up, making a nice little bed there. Slide yourself on back. If you've got a pillow, just bring this one with you here. And again, treating everything you do right now as part of your practice. So even though you're kind of wiggling around to your next place, the wiggling is part of you taking care of yourself here. And if you got that blanket roll, just bring it right in back of you, right close to your hips. If you've got a blanket, a pillow or something a little firmer, just keep it nearby. Gently roll yourself on down to rest on your pillow here. And however's natural for your legs, if you'd like to bring the bottoms of your feet together and knees drift out to your side, that's a nice one, or legs can stretch out is a great one too. If you've got a pillow with a little bit of weight to it, this is a nice one, or another blanket. Again, if you don't have anything, don't worry. You're good, but if you'd like to let your pillow just rest on your belly, add a little pressure, that's nice. Obviously not if you're pregnant, but use your common sense. Simply notice how you feel. And take a big inhale. exhale. Breathe here for just a little while. If you like to stay here and rest, feel free. If you'd like to, what's coming next is just some easy twists lying down, if that feels interesting. Just roll onto one side enough so you can kind of slide this blanket along somewhere else. Again, keep this part of your practice. Just act like you care about the blanket. Send it away. Hug your knees into your chest there. If you're going for this part, give yourself a squeeze, a little rock side to side. And keep your right leg into your chest, let your left leg drift down. Maybe just holding on to that right knee or shin, or letting it hook into your elbow, and the leg just relax out to your side. The opposite hand can just rest on your top thigh. Breathing big. Maybe stay here if you want to grab a hold underside of that foot and stretch your leg out. That may be a nice one. If that's not so awesome, just keep it hugged in. Take care of you. You practice taking care of yourself, you'll start to get really good at it. So much that you'll help other people feel good just by being around you. Maybe stay right here if you want to take a twist. Let this leg drift up and over and across your body. Arms can stretch out. And just breathe. You like to stay there a little longer, feel free, or come back around, give that shin a squeeze, and trade the sides. Hugging your left shin in, a little roll around. Maybe hugging that knee or letting your leg drift out a bit. Just breathe. Maybe stay right here if you want to grab a hold underside of that foot, kind of like a nice half happy baby situation, or stretching your leg. Just find that best place for you. Maybe stay there. If you like to take it into a twist, let your leg drift up and over and across your body. Arms can stretch out. Big deep breaths. Coming all the way back toward your middle, give that shin a squeeze. And hug both shins in for a nice squeeze, a little rock side to side. If you want to stay here on your back for a little while longer, feel free. If you like to move gently a bit more, crawl on up here, back up onto all fours on your hands and knees, and kind of cruise around here again. A little shift your hips side to side, roll around. If you like to stay on your hands and knees, feel free. If you like to gently crawl yourself up towards standing, going for that. If you're standing, simply cruise around your space here with the least amount of tension in your body. Simply walk around. Notice what you notice. Notice how you can move through space by simply shifting your weight from one side to the other side, how that frees up your opposite leg. You can slide it back or slide it forward. Maybe play around with walking forward, play around with walking backwards, feeling your way with your feet there, playing around with walking sideways. And maybe even the other side. Dropping any extra tension in your hands, your face, your legs. Your tailbone just relax down. If you have a tendency to kind of arch your back, if your back hurts, your knee hurts, you might be a back archer. So just drop that in a little bit. Give yourself a bit of a wiggle from your hips. And just let your arms do what they do. This isn't about moving your arms, just moving your hips. Notice what happens. Eventually find a place to stand you feel comfortable with. Notice how you feel. Take a big inhale. Long exhale. Twice more, big inhale. Long exhale. Once more, big inhale. Long exhale. Keep on cruising around, walking, or come to crawling here. Eventually we'll meet back sitting. Take your time, finding the easiest way to be here. No rush. Yourself find a nice centered, balanced place. Take a big inhale. Long exhale. Twice more, big inhale. Long exhale. Once more, big inhale. Long exhale. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. Welcome back. Don't jump up. Try to stay easy, stay a little weird. If you feel a little kind of not busy, that's probably a really good feeling right now. So hopefully you enjoyed that. That's just a very brief experience of, oh, I heard something weird, I know what that was. Hearing voices, you guys. It's a brief experience of what we do all the time. There's a question here. I think I may be able to see that. Okay, interesting. Question. Oh, okay. Somebody questioned. Oh, you're from Portugal. Is that a question? Okay, amazing. I'm glad you guys feel all right. But hopefully this is useful. Things you can do that aren't real structured sort of yoga class time to hopefully change the way you think about how you can have a relationship with yourself, and yoga being a nice tool to provide a way of ease and a way of moving in harmony with yourself. So hopefully that was cool, and maybe some of you guys had some cool things to write down. I love that technique, especially if I'm meditating. I'm sure many of you have had the same experience. You have a thought that's come into your mind and it just won't go, and you don't want it to go because maybe it's a good idea or something you just want to work through and just get it down on the paper. You can then forget about it and come back. So I know a lot of schools of meditation want you to let it go during the meditation and come back, but for the reality of most of us, we don't want to forget. We want to know what the thing is. A lot of teachers say if it's really important, it'll come find you. But for me, I've forgotten so many things that I wanted to do because I said, let it go, it'll come find me later. So this is, if nothing else, just for peace of mind. And then you can really actually fully let it go and then come back. So the practice isn't to get lost in your thoughts here. It's to find a constructive way to let it go by getting it down. That way you know you have it on the page and then you can come back. So hopefully you feel really nice. So one question I just wanted to ask you guys, if you wanted to, I know Instagram has this ability to invite people in to ask questions. So I saw Emran doing this on BOF. He had just a separate session where people could ask questions about fashion. And if that's useful for you guys, we could do that sometime. Maybe I'll schedule that in this week. you could ask questions and it kind of comes up on a split screen, and we can share the time together and ask questions about yoga or something that I could be useful for, if that's useful. So let me know if you would like to do that, and we could kind of add that to the schedule as well. So hopefully you're feeling all right. I'm getting these texts from New York City, which is really kind of a cool way we can kind of keep in touch. It's like the emergency broadcast system. It's saying stay at home. So stay at home, you guys. Stop the spread. Be good to yourselves. Be good to those around you. Hope you're feeling better. Hope you're taking really good care of yourself. And I'll see you guys soon. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time for daily yoga. And we'll keep it going through the week. So love you guys. Thanks so much, and see you soon.